Good morning, everybody. Today is December 31st. We're going to be ringing in the new year, working on some equipment and doing some preventative maintenance on everything. Today we're going to be working on our 1985 Peterbilt 359. Got a couple minor things we need to do to it just to get it fixed up and keep it in tip-top shape. So, gonna follow along and help us fix it. All right. So here's a couple little things we need to do to it. Don't mind the mess in the shop. We're building two houses, so we got all our house mess in here still. Once the houses are built, we can really get this shop looking good. But so we try and park the truck inside every chance we can, just keep it nice. So we noticed a coolant leak here that we gotta fix up, figure out where that's coming from. On this back wheel, we have a stud that we have to replace. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's this one here. Might be the one with the lug nut cover off, but we'll figure out which one is bad. We'll pull these two wheels off, go to town, get a new stud, get the grease cleaned off the wheel there so it looks good. And then we also got to put a fitting like this one. This is for our end dump trailer. We don't want to leave this hose on here just because it makes a mess. And you can see the clutter on the deck plate here. So we're gonna make it so we can leave this hydraulic hose for the end dump on the trailer when we drop the trailer. So we'll pull this fitting off here, add these two in line, so that way we can leave it on the trailer. Another small issue we got is we got a slight fuel leak on one of these hoses up under here. You can see the brass fittings right there. We have to pull it off, put some new thread sealer on it, and put it back together to get that to stop leaking. We just added this split tank for hydraulic and diesel. We didn't want to add a dedicated diesel tank up here. For one, it wouldn't fit, and for two, this looks a lot better. But we just installed it and noticed that it was leaking diesel, so now we gotta pull that back off and fix it again correctly this time. I think we'll start at the front of the truck, start on that coolant leak, and we'll work our way to the back, fix everything as we go backwards. Get a little rhythm of going here. To start off, we want to move the truck forward, give us a little more working room. It's right in the way of the car hoist right here for pulling these wheels and stuff off. So don't want to start the truck because it's hard on the engine to start it and then just shut it off when it's cold. So my dad made this awesome little two-way valve here. Plugs into the truck here. Air line hooks to it. That way you can fill up the air tanks on the truck. So we'll fill the air tanks up, release the brakes, and try and push it forward and save from starting that engine if we don't have to. Let's see if we can push this thing forward now. Help me push. Brakes are released. This thing pushes easier than my first gen. Should be good. So when we bought this truck, it came from California, and CARB had to have it repowered. So this truck was repowered with a 3406E, and a few years later, CARB then said it was illegal, so it had to be sold out of state or scrapped. When we bought it, we couldn't even put the title in our name because DMV wouldn't even register it or swap titles with it. So had to register it in Texas, which my dad was in California at the time, and I had to register it for him just to get it out of the state. But I think our coolant leak is coming from this lower radiator hose somewhere, so we're going to crawl underneath there and see what we can do. Alright, spray all this coolant off with some brake cleaner. Well, we'll see if we got that coolant leak fixed. And we'll work over here onto this hydraulic hose and put these quick connect fittings on here. There it is. Now we can take this fitting off, take this whole hose off, and leave it up on the end dump rather than cluttering up the deck plate with all these hoses. Next on the list, we'll head down and work on that fuel leak on that brass fitting underneath the truck. Try and get that sorted out, and then we'll work on this wheel. All right, so we're under the tank now. I think it's leaking from right around here on this fitting. So we're just going to take this whole assembly off, pull it all apart, reseal the whole thing, put it back on. This is the crossover hose between both fuel tanks. So get that fixed. It's not leaking bad, but overnight you can see a little puddle it's leaving. So get that off and sealed up again. Alright, so we'll get this all cleaned up and clamping the vise here. I'm just trying to remember which direction these fittings faced when we put it all back together. Back to the truck. All buttoned back up. Shouldn't leak anymore, just gotta zip tie this hose back in place and it'll be done. All right, fuel tank fittings are fixed. Now we'll move on to changing out this wheel stud. Get the truck jacked up off the ground, pull all the chrome goodies off, and then see if our little Milwaukee 1/2-inch gun with all these adapters will pull them lug nuts off. If not, we'll have to pull out the 1-inch drive gun and hook up some air hoses. We haven't done it yet since we moved into the shop, so another project if this won't take it off. We'll see if it works. So as you can see, this wheel stud here stripped out and won't let the nut come off. Roll back in the view. Ready? Good? Yep. These are like lug nuts, but they're studs for the other wheel as well. Explain what you're doing here.
Okay, there's a release mechanism right down here where this thing is at. It's a little knob. You just twist this fork, put it under the knob, twist it.
Show that tool again.
Right there.
Okay.
You put it underneath this knob, and it pulls the knob out and allows this to turn, because this automatic slack adjuster always keeps the brakes tight and turns one way. So it's like releasing the cog on a ratchet. And
So
then
this tool down here is releasing the cog, and this is spinning the ratchet, basically.
yes, and it's actually backing the threaded screw off. Now the shoes are all the way away from the drum, and then when you go to tighten this up, you tighten that all the way back up and back it off a turn and a half.
And you need that tool to back it off a turn and a half when you do it?
Yeah, you'll need that to back it off. You tighten it up till the shoes touch, and then you back it off a turn and a half. Now this should come off.
Oh yeah, nice and loose. This is the stud that's stripped right here. You can see that. No more threads. So that's the stud that we have to replace. Check them all out. How many do you think are stripped? I saw, I think 3 or 4.
They look like they're all bad.
Every one of them?
Mm-hmm, right here.
Yeah, where the nut seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are low. Those are gone. Those are gone. Those are low.
And this one's completely gone.
Mm-hmm.
What? I don't think I have one like that. I gotta go look.
Well, we didn't have any studs in the shop, so we're gonna run to Napa real quick. Go get a couple studs. Get this thing back together today. Got the new studs. Getting taken out and pressed in, but man, they are tight and they don't want to go all the way in. A little over a 1/4 inch gap to get it back.
Gotta watch that in there until it bottoms out.
That's going on YouTube.
What?
That big old rip you just let out.
I'm
I'm gonna put it on there too. Let me get in there. Oh gosh, you stink.
Yeah, that one out. I know, I don't know what happened.
It's the sauerkraut.
I didn't have any sauerkraut.
Got no more coolant leaks. Been sitting here for 2 days. Let's see if we got no fuel leak. Fuel leak's nice and clean. And obviously the wheel studs are put back together. So she's ready to go to work tomorrow.